The Force will be with you.
Always.
Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Star Wars Meg, here to provide you with all of the news from a galaxy far, far away, and also to provide you with another Mandalorian Season 2 update. Season 2 of The Mandalorian is coming in 18 days time, and we could not be more hyped as a Star Wars fandom. Before I get into the news guys, please may I ask you to hit like down below, to subscribe to my channel if you're new, and also please hit the notification bell to be alerted every time I upload a new video. And without further ado, let's get to the news. So first and foremost, all I want to say is that The Mandalorian is really near, and I think this might be one of the final Mandalorian Season 2 updates that I do on this channel. Because Season 2 is so near, it seems to me that there's less and less to talk about in these daily updates with The Mandalorian. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on with the Star Wars news stories that come out. And it seems that since we're so near to the release date of Season 2, there's less and less about The Mandalorian, but unless something huge comes up, I don't really think there's much else to talk about. However, I will keep you updated on other news developments in the Star Wars galaxy. And on that note, let's get to the news. I will say about this rumoured second trailer that we can't really expect much at this point. If we are going to get a second trailer, it's going to be between now and the 15th, and I did say that yesterday as well, but other than that, I don't think we can expect too much until release date. At this point, I think it's best to just sit back and just see what Season 2 has in store for us. It's not that far away. We've gotten through the longest stride of time without Star Wars content, so now we can all brace ourselves for Season 2. So the big news story of the day is that Rahul Kohli is once again teasing that he will be playing Ezra Bridger in The Mandalorian Season 2. So as you guys know, a few weeks ago he was teasing on social media, joking that he feels a lot like Ezra Bridger. Well, in his latest social media post, he may have confirmed that he is indeed playing Ezra in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. He stated, "I'm currently alone filming a new show and couldn't celebrate the release of Bly Manor with my friends, family, or the Bly cast, so I've treated myself to one can of Coke. Thank you all so much for watching. Your tweets have made me smile. Cheers." Now, here's the thing. If you look at the picture, he has Ezra Bridger on as the wallpaper in the background, and he's wearing a Lucasfilm jumper. Call me crazy, but all these signs point to the fact that he will be playing Ezra. I mean, why else would he have tweeted those things a couple of weeks ago? And even though he said he was joking, I think it's pretty much almost confirmed at this point. Or maybe again he's messing with us. What do you guys think? So the first news article is about Sabine Wren, and this is a question that a lot of people have had, is like, how will she play into The Mandalorian Season 2, but more so, how old will she be and how will this be portrayed? So here's an article about just that. A prominent member of the Ghost Crew, Sabine Wren, spent the early years of her life fighting the rebellion in Star Wars Rebels. Sabine was 16 years old when audiences first saw her in Rebels Season 1, which takes place approximately 5 years before the events of A New Hope. She continued to fight against the Empire throughout the rest of her teenage years, ultimately acquiring the Darksaber when she was 19 to 20 years old. At that point, she temporarily left the Ghost to help her family liberate Mandalore from Imperial rule and find someone to accept the Darksaber as the new Mandalorian leader. Sabine was 21 years old when the main story of the Star Wars Rebels series ended. In order to avoid any lingering questions about why Star Wars Rebels characters weren't in the original trilogy or haven't been referenced anywhere else, the series ended with a prologue that takes place for ABY shortly after the Battle of Endor and Return of the Jedi. Sabine's story left off with Ahsoka as the two were leaving in search for Ezra Bridger. That puts her at 25 years old when fans last saw her on screen, but there have been many rumours for a long time that she will one day appear in The Mandalorian. Well, that time may have come with Season 2 on the brink. Barring any time jumps, the Mandalorian series takes place in 9 ABY, 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi and the original trilogy, which means Sabine would only be 30 years old. If she were to appear, it would not only be the first time viewers would see her in live action, but also as an adult. Because of that, she might look considerably different than people realise, disregarding the fact that it would be a jump from the animation to live action, which comes with its obvious differences. So on the subject of Sabine, I do think this last point is crucial, where they talk about how she will be significantly older and therefore look a bit different. Now, I did say that I don't personally believe Sabine Wren is the hooded, cloaked woman from the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer. However, there's a very good argument why she might be. Not only is this the most probable character in terms of Star Wars timeline and who they would hint at in the trailer, but also because she's 30 years old. She's significantly older than the last time that we saw her, in the sense that she may have matured, lost her pink and purple hair, just gone for natural hair, because one of the biggest criticisms people had against the case that this hooded woman in the trailer was Sabine Wren is that she didn't have her iconic hair. But I don't wish to speculate on this character any further, but what I will talk about is one Easter egg that we saw in the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer that a lot of people missed. If you look at this scene, you'll see that there's graffiti in the background. We know that Sabine Wren was obsessed with graffiti and she was a graffiti artist. Is this a sign that we are going to see her in Season 2? I'll leave that open-ended for you guys to decide and to comment down below. And without further ado, let's get to our next article. So again, on the subject of the Mandalorian Season 2, this is 5 things from Season 1 to bring back. So this article, or rather this list from Screen Rant, talks about the things we really hope to see again in Season 2 and, are probably quite likely to see. The first one is leftover Imperial tidbits. Keeping track of the timeline of the Star Wars universe can be a headache. One thing that's clear is The Mandalorian takes place after the events of Episode 6. That means that the Empire has fallen and the First Order has yet to rise. Sanctuary saw the raiders the planet was dealing with have an old Imperial AT-ST. Not only did it make for a cool action scene, but it also worked to show that things from those days were not fully dead. It would be awesome to see them again in Season 2. The next thing that they're hoping to bring back is the Mandalorian lore and backstory. This one I agree with significantly because I do want to hear more, is fun droids. While it was noted that IG-11 wouldn't return from the dead, that doesn't mean the show should avoid droids altogether. I again completely agree with this one. There's so much potential with droids. I mean, they designed really cool ones for the sequel trilogy. But let's hope that they can cook up new designs which are true to the original trilogy while also keeping in line with modernity and, just looking awesome as a droid. So the next thing that we hope that they bring back are subtle connections, and this one I think is crucial for the show in its entirety. Of course, when something is part of a larger series, it's imperative that connections are there. The Mandalorian certainly needs some, but they should be subtle, in particular The Rise of Skywalker. A lot of people who defended The Last Jedi stated that Rey should have been her own person and shouldn't have been linked to anyone. The fact that she was a nobody would have actually been a much better story than if she were a Palpatine, which, ended up being the case in Episode 9. And the reason they make this case is because it's supposed to show, the metaphor that anyone from anywhere can become anyone. So I think that's what they're getting at in this article when they state that subtle connections work really well, but they shouldn't overdo it. And the final thing that they argue that should be brought back for The Mandalorian Season 2 is protective relationships. When The Mandalorian was announced and even after trailers aired, nobody could have predicted the show would feature a bounty hunter who ends up playing a father figure to a child from Yoda species. However, that's exactly what happened and it ended up being for the best. Not only is Baby Yoda wildly popular, but adorable, and the protective role that Djarin has with the child is beloved. Hopefully he will develop this bond. I again completely agree, and I do think he's very protective. In the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, we did hear Djarin say, "You expect me to hand over this creature to enemy sorcerers," and that shows protectiveness, and I imagine between the period of time of the ending of Season 1 and the start of Season 2, he would have developed a much more protective bond over Baby Yoda, and I don't think he's just going to hand him over to absolutely anyone for no reason at all. And finally, for the Star Wars news, we have an unrelated story, which isn't about The Mandalorian, and this one is about Natalie Portman, who obviously played Padme Amidala in the prequel trilogy. Now, this one is kind of humorous, just a little laugh that we can have, and this is that Natalie Portman still hasn't shown her 2 children her performances as Padme in the Star Wars trilogy. The Oscar winner told Fatherly that even though the reaction to The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith was intense, she's now grateful to have been part of something that kids relate to so much. But Portman admitted that she did not show her movies to her son Aleph and daughter Amalia. "I haven't shown my kids the movies," she says. "I think it's so weird for them to see me as anything other than their mum." So this is quite cute in a way because, she's trying to separate her professional and personal life. But something I couldn't help but think when I read this article earlier was, wouldn't it be really funny if, just as a prank, on a movie night as a family, she says to the kids, "I'm just going to put on a film that I think you guys would like," and it ends up being The Phantom Menace, and then they see their mother on the screen, and they're in absolute awe, and that's how she reveals to them that she was in Star Wars. I think that'd be really funny. I think 9-year-olds are old enough to know, what Star Wars is at that point, so it would be kind of a shock to them, unless they already know and they just haven't seen the film. I don't know. So I'm Star Wars Meg, and I really hope you enjoyed my news update. If you did, please give me a big fat like, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.